you are not successful in business is because of this, the game. See, you can be the most talented YouTuber, photographer, videographer, graphic designer, coach, author, you name it. You can be the most talented basketball player in your neighborhood. But in order for you to join the big boys, the NBA, you need to understand how the game is played. See, in order for you to understand or learn the rules of the game, you need somebody that has played there before. Somebody that have learned and mastered the rules of the game to teach you that. And once you learn that, you will be able to be drafted. And here's what happens. After you drafted, you will get a coach that's gonna keep your amazing talent in check. See, you cannot just get on the field and do whatever you wanna do. Here's the sad reality. Talent alone is not enough for you to be successful in business. Having all the amazing equipment that you need to get the job done is still not enough for you to be successful. Now, when I say successful, I mean being able to consistently land premium clients. That's why I decided to create Content Creators University. Who am I? My name is JP Hightek. I am a global branding expert. I am also the founder and CEO of a media agency called Perfect Zone Productions. As a matter of fact, you are in one of my studios right now.
Hey, it's Tanya Smith here of Get Noticed with Video and Stream Like a Boss TV.
Hey everybody, my name is Michelle Singh. I'm from Miami, Florida, and I have an educational consulting firm.
Hey you guys, James Hicks here from Hicks New Media.
JP has an incredible presence. You know, when I go and I look people up and try to find out more about them, everything was stellar. Anything that you could find about JP showed that he was an upstanding gentleman, that he delivered amazing and beautiful visual presence, that he tells the truth and he is authentic and genuine. And all of those things made me say, yes, absolutely.
I just worked with JP Hightek from Perfect Zone Productions, and we spent the entire day together doing photos and video shoots for my rebranding of my company. And when I tell you the entire experience was amazing, it was amazing.
Right, I had the privilege of working with JP on some brand and media assets that I wanted worked on within my studio, and everything from the initial conversation to the planning discussions to the constructive feedback and criticism that I was given from him was absolutely spot on.
I was all on it because I believed in him and I could see what he was capable of doing through the lens of others who have been on the internet that have been impacted by him and his truth. So I actually became a client of JP because he gave me truth. He said, you know what, I like your live stream, I enjoy the content. The presence, the putting out there in terms of the professionalism of your live stream needs to match the level of excellence and content that you deliver. And when he said this, I paused for a minute. He's so right. So what did I do? I asked, can you help me? Can you help me? And JP and his team created the most beautiful graphics. They were perfectly branded for me, for what I wanted to do with Stream Like a Boss. I find myself using them consistently and regularly in almost every live stream show that I do. And I often get compliments when people DM me and ask me, who did your graphics? Who put that together?
This is me after JP. Do I look awesome or what? I finally have the correct color. I'm human. Yes, I am human. I have the correct color.
looking for photos, rebranding, video, commercials, anything is related to that media aspect and branding aspect of your company, I highly recommend Perfect Zone Productions. Not only did they provide the environment and the space for me to get the images and the videos that I needed done, but everything even down to the outfit, even down to the makeup was a part of the experience. And so if you're looking for somebody to do it all for you and your company as far as branding, Perfect Zone Productions, that's who you need to
We have the talent. We have the motivation. We have maybe the equipment that we own. Why not see what take my business to 6 months. The day my company made $100,000, I was discovered how to apply those things. And once you learn how to apply those things, you can 10x that. Now I'm able to take my podcast, come to Fools University, and I was able to land so many clients that last year. In a matter of 4 to 5 months, I was able to make the same 6 figures. You can do the same thing too. This is not like talent. You just learn. Yeah, I'm familiar with you. This takes a lot of work. Nobody's gonna do it for you. You must be willing to do the job. See, here's the deal. Entrepreneurship means that you are willing to be working when everybody else is asleep. You're willing to put in 60, 70, 80 hours a week. Today, now is the time to put in the hard work. Work like none other so that later you can leave like none other. So if you're willing to put in the work, if you're willing to learn and apply, if you're willing to go through the courses, master classes, conference replays, materials, and everything that me and my team are about to give you in this private community, well, come join me. You have two options. You have the free option and you have the gold option. The gold is paid. Free is free. Regardless of which one you have, you will get major value. Because there will be some things that you will not see anywhere. You're not gonna find it on YouTube, Facebook, anywhere else, but on this platform. So what I want you to do is go ahead and sign up today for free or join the Gold membership and let's grow together. One thing that I always say is that the day you stop learning, you stop growing. So I'm looking for you to join so together we can learn, we can grow, and we can impact the world. Every day is another opportunity. See you soon.
Look, this is a man who is going to give you the honest, but not only that, he has just a wealth of knowledge and experience in the branding, digital marketing, media, visual entertainment space. There's no one that I would recommend more highly than him to be someone that partners with you to upscale your brand and to make sure that you show up in the stellar way that you want to show up, and even beyond what you can think of, because he has a vision. He can see what could be, and that's what I have appreciated so much, is the possibilities that he has opened up and expanded my thinking to really embrace.
One of
JP, like your production is amazing. I love your show. You know, and I'm just so happy that found JP, like your production, JP, like amazing. Happen and be on your show, and like I wish you the very, very best, man. All the best. You're gonna have an amazing amazing 2022.
I am impressed. Having a little bit of envy with your production. So well put together. And I love the value that you're delivering, the questions that you focus on. And I know that you were just trying to get.
University is a show that airs every single week, but I want to connect with you. I want you to go ahead and download my mobile application. If you have an iPhone, go ahead and download my app called JP Hightek TV right now onto your phone. If you have a TV, a smart TV, my app is also available on your Roku TV, right? Go ahead and download JP Hightek TV on your Roku TV or your Amazon Fire TV right now, and let's connect together, right? I want you to grow with me. I want us to grow together. If you love podcasts, I'm also happy to tell you that the Content Creators University is available syndicated across every podcast platform. Apple Podcasts, Audible, Google Podcasts, you name it, we are there. Spotify and all of that. Go ahead and download it, listen to it, and do me a favor. If you appreciate what we're doing, go ahead and put it in the comment section. Leave me a review on any of those podcast platform or mobile application platform. Let me know if any of the hard work that we're putting into this community, this broadcast, this podcast is helping you. If you appreciate all the amazing guests that we're bringing onto the platform to share their expertise with you. This is a lot of work, family, and I'm doing all this in order for you to be able to grow your business the right way, leveraging content creation. Thanks so much, and if you appreciate what we do, go ahead as well subscribe to the YouTube channel JP Hightek Reviews. Follow me personally if you want to connect with me on all social media, and the handle is @JP Hightek. I love connecting. Like I always say, network is the new currency. So I want to see you online, I want to connect with you, and I want to hear from you. Let's grow together. Be safe, like I always say. See you next time. Shalom. Peace.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Content Creators University Season 5. You guys know, so excited. Every single week we have this rendezvous. Every week we have somebody here with us, and we call them experts, right? So we have another expert backstage today, and the conversation is fire. It's all about branding and growing your influence on LinkedIn. That's what we're talking about today, and I'm so excited that you guys decided to join me right here. If you don't know, you're new to this show, allow me to introduce myself. My name is JP Hightek. I am your humble servant. I am a global branding and media expert. What I do is work with individuals, corporations, and small business owners build a premium brand leveraging technology, content creation, live video, right? And also including cinematography, videography, photography, and so many other amazing stuff. I'm also the founder and CEO of a media agency here in the state of Tennessee called Perfect Zone Production. So allow me to welcome you here, and let me know in the comment section where you're joining us from. Is it LinkedIn? I see a whole lot of folks from LinkedIn. I'm about to give you guys a shout out in a little bit. Is it Facebook? Is it YouTube? You let us know. And of course, if you didn't know, well, the main house for this show is on YouTube. So I want to encourage you to find us on YouTube. The handle is @JP Hightek, JPHIGHTEK. And do one thing. Go ahead, when you go there, subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell notifications, because we go live every single week between the hours of 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. Central, or Eastern is, 7 to 9. All right. Every single week we go live and we grow together. Like I say, you heard me say it in the video intro, the day you stop learning, you stop growing. So we're here to learn every week, because technology never stays the same. It's always moving, always evolving. There's always something new that we need to know about, right? And so we are here to level up and stay sharp in the things that we do, right? That's what this is all about. Now, if one thing that we do is first we have the news, right? Because this show is both listeners and sponsor supported. So we are going to run a quick ad for our sponsor and talk about what's the news, what's new in the Content Creators University. And right after that, we'll be bringing our guest onto the stage. Don't go anywhere, family. Stay with me. We'll be right back right after this.
This is Todd.
Hi.
This is Todd's mom.
Hi.
In a moment, Todd's mom will read her son's internet browsing history.
What?
Aloud, please.
No.
Supermodels on trampolines.com. Why don't girls like me? how to overcome an overbearing mother.
Okay, cut.
If you wouldn't want mom looking through your web history, why would you let hackers, ad companies, or your internet and cellular provider do the same thing?
Why does my junk burn?
They can track and record everything you do online, but not if you have ExpressVPN.
Why did you buy a $200 ninja outfit?
For fighting.
ExpressVPN apps keep your activity and identity private while you browse, stream, email, or download. Protect all of your devices with just one click.
Are my hands small?
Okay, I'm done. You guys are all terrible people.
ExpressVPN. Take back your privacy today.
Ooh.
All right, family, let's go ahead and jump into the news. And the very first one that I want to tell you about, family, is that my mentorship program, the Private Circle, the doors are open, family. The doors are open right now. Here's the thing, family. You really cannot assess or analyze the game if you're the one playing it. So if you're looking for somebody that will be standing on the sideline, a coach that will be right there analyzing and watching from the outside in order to tell you the things that I believe or he believes you should implement in order to maximize in the things that you're doing and really make the maximum impact with your brand, well, join my Private Circle right now, because there's certain things you can only talk about those things in private rooms behind closed doors, right? If you're the type of person that you are a business owner, seasoned business owner, or you're a new entrepreneur, or you've been struggling and trying to truly make a return on investment with your content or with your business, right? You're like, okay, I don't understand all of this. I've been maybe posting everywhere, nothing's coming out of it. I'm trying to really leverage technology and I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong, but the return on my investment is not coming through. Well, I would love to sit down with you and together we will grow. Together we will grow your brand. And really, I will show you the secrets of the things that I personally did to allow me to build my brand and really start making true return on the things that I'm putting my money in, right? There's a strategy to the madness. So I want to highly encourage you to go to the website, jphightek.com/mentorship. jphightek.com/mentorship is the place you want to go to. All right. And so talking about, news, we also have the doors of the Video Mastery 101 with JP is open right now. And all you have to do is go to the website, jphightek.com/video mastery. Listen, if you're watching this podcast and you're like, yo, I really need help with my video presence, or I would like to level up, right? In the way I show up, in the way I present myself, in the way I'm on camera, anything that has to do with the video aspect. Well, we cover that in this Video Mastery on a private conversation geared towards the things that you need, because there's no solution fit all, right? When it comes out to video, your location matters. I'm talking about your studio, your lighting, your skin tone, your draw plate, like what's the primary focus for the things that you do? What's your audience that you're gearing all that to? And comes with a whole lot of experience. I've been doing this for over 15 years, family. So again, there's so much into this and so many people requested it. So now the doors are open. The website is, again, jphightek.com/video mastery is where you want to go. Now, if you did not know, family, let me let you know that we have our own private community. No, it's not a private Facebook group or any other platform. We own this platform. Is a true, social media platform that we created for like-minded thinkers, people that are creators, people like you and I that really want to level up and find a place where we can voice our concerns, right? And we can grow the business side of the things that we're doing, whether you're an author, you're a coach, you're a speaker, right? You're a content creator, YouTuber, you name it. This is for you. Go ahead and visit the website right now, contentcreatorsuniversity.com is the place for you to go. And family, one thing that we're doing, if you go there, you can create a free account today. But if you were to go ahead and join the gold membership, you will notice that we have so many masterclasses, courses, conferences, you name it. My team and I, every single week, we're adding a new course. I mean, this is it right here. I'm showing it to you if you're watching the podcast. If you're listening to it, you want to hop on YouTube and find this podcast and go check it out. Look at right there, Chat GPT Masterclass, right? Making money with Amazon, everything you need to know, right? AI Marketing Masterclass, right? We have business growth with LinkedIn. That's amazing because that's what we're talking about today, how to build your influence and brand with LinkedIn. Look at that. We have how to develop an engaging brand with video, complete pro Zoom video checklist, and you name it. There's so much here. All you have to do is go to the website, contentcreatorsuniversity.com. And talking about sponsors, family, we have another sponsor here that I want to talk to you guys about, and that is ExpressVPN. Thank you, ExpressVPN, for being faithful sponsor of the Content Creators University. And ExpressVPN is giving you 3 months free on a 12-month subscription for your VPN virtual private network today, especially understanding that technology is very present in everything we're doing, and we're leveraging that a lot to do the things that we do. So we want to protect our assets and, make sure that we put those layers of security on the things that we cherish a lot. When you spend a lot of time online, like I do, you want to have something like this protecting your assets, right? Again, the place to go is expressvpn.com/JP Hightek, JPHIGHTEK. I want to see you guys there. Shout out to the folks that are joining us right now on the comment section. And of course, a lot of folks always ask me, JP, I see you, man. I see you always on Roku, on Amazon Fire TV, simultaneously. How you doing that? Well, I'm using this solution that I'm presenting to you right now. That is called RTN Streams. And the place to go and sign up today is rtnstreams.com. If you want to have your own TV application, one click drop easy. If you know how to use YouTube, you know how to upload a video online, then you know how to use this platform. I mean, it's amazing. And shout out to the folks that are watching us right now in their living rooms. Thank you guys for downloading the TV application. If you didn't know, go ahead and get it right now. The name is JP Hightek TV. And also we have a mobile application. Get it. It's free, family. It's free. And finally, last but not least, we have our newest sponsor, which is Jira Finance Academy. I mean, we know that the best way to live is to have your money working for you, right? And now you working for your money. And so if you really want your money working for you, go ahead and check them out. Jira Finance Academy, JIREH. financeacademy.com is a place to go for your investment. Now, family, let's go ahead and talk about the reason why we're all here today. And we're here because of this guy right here. His name is Dan Roth. Dan Roth, family, and we're about to bring him onto the stage. But allow me to read a little bit of his bio. I know he'll do a better job about introducing himself whenever he comes here. But not just a highly regarded LinkedIn influencer, Dan is a multifaceted powerhouse, an award-winning recruiter, DEI program manager, professional speaker, TV show producer, influencer, and above all, a dedicated husband and dad. And I can tell you from personal experience, he loves his family. And so I love that because I'm also a father of 3 wonderful children. Named one of the LinkedIn top 25 job search experts, his insights have graced the pages of the Wall Street Journal, New York Times, and Business Insider. Navigating recent life changes, Dan doubled down on live streaming. He's building a top-notch studio and leveraging his extensive network to raise his already compelling voice for communities that often go unheard. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to bring our guest onto the stage. It's about to be good. Buckle up, grab your popcorn. Yeah, it's about to be good. Right after this intro, our guest will be on the stage. Let's go. All right. Dan, what's good? How you doing today? Welcome to the show.
Hello, my friend. It is great to be here. Thank you to your sponsors. And for taking the time to speak with me today. It's going to be a fun. I might have as much energy as you, but if I need to, I've got my Ecamm coffee right
there.
Here.
You go. There you go. All right. You can't go wrong with the Ecom coffee mug. Shout out to Ecom, of course, great partners of the show as well. Even Dan, you work with them. So great people to work with. So I'm excited about that. Before we jump into anything and have you introduce yourself, allow me to go ahead and give a shout out to the folks that are joining us in the comment section, Dan. And I see quite a few people. Shout out to you, Kimberly, Gunn. What's going on? Thank you for being here in the comment section. I see you, Rachel. Hey, Rachel. And thank you for being here. And what's good, First Lady Cree, in the comment section. Let us know if you're joining us, if you have any questions for our guest tonight and where you're joining from. We would love to know. And look at that. I got my man, Sue Duckworth, MBA CCP SPHR. Woo! I think I did a good job there. Shout out to you. Yes, this will be available as a playback. All you have to go to my YouTube channel, JP Hightek. Even on Dan's YouTube channel is being broadcasted there as well. And so, yeah, you can catch the replay after the live stream. Definitely, we will be happy to have you. And look at that. Shout out to you, my man, Casey Hardison Jr. Thanks for being here. We are really excited. And look at that. Earlier, I showed him at the beginning during the countdown. My man, Dwayne Wood. What's good? He was a guest with us here last week. Thank you, family. Thank you for being here. And as a reminder, today's conversation, if you didn't know, is all about building your influence and brand on LinkedIn, right? With the one and only Dan Roth. Now, of course, Dan, let me go ahead and have you take it away. I want you to take a minute, introduce yourself to the folks that are just discovering you for the first time. They're like, yo, JP, who's this dude, man? Take it away. Tell them what makes you so amazing, man.
Well, before I get started, two quick things. One is happy World Mental Health Day to everyone. And then I also have to mention that this wouldn't be possible at all without the one and only Tanya Smith, who is so near and dear to both of us. Tanya is on her way to Creator ACAM's Creator Camp. But if you listen to this back, Tanya, know that you're here with us in spirit. For those that don't know me, or even those that do, it is great to be here. You know my name. Basically, I do a little bit of everything. Actually, a lot of bit of everything. My story is long and arduous, and it starts with growing up with ADHD and not really being able to find myself. And then my children were born, and there was no excuse. There was no option. So I came on LinkedIn. I came on social media, decided if I was going to do it, I was going to do it my way, started branding myself, found gaps in the algorithms, tested things out. Eventually I had a post that generated 100,000 plus views per week, 1,000 comments. Along the way, I started getting accolades and branding deals and working with companies like Elgato and Ecamm and Opus Clip. And now, not only do I use my platform to create equity and inclusivity for marginalized communities, but we also work to support nonprofits, do consultancy work, and I've worked in over 37 countries. So if anybody in my Yoruba family is here, Showa Dada, great to be here.
Yeah, I told you guys it's about to be good. And as you can see, just the introductions makes you know that we have the right guests for this conversation today. Appreciate you, Dan. Really appreciate you, man. And again, shout out to Tanya, like you did, through we are able to connect today. And through that, you're on the show right now. And I always say networking is the new currency. And so I love networking. And that's what allowed us to do the things that we're doing today. Even though we've never met in person, we are collaborating and we're growing together. So that's great. Now, yeah, go ahead.
It's funny. I want to mention, it's funny because I haven't met most people in person. It's a weird dichotomy because I have social anxiety. And when I started coming up 5 years ago and really building my brand, there was this point in time where I'm very comfortable in this environment, the virtual environment. I could talk nonstop. I'm great with that. But being ADHD, you don't always have the ability in person. And then I got asked to speak at a conference, and I was keynote conference, last speaker, last day. And I swear to you, I stuck by my friend like the entire time. Like everybody's wanting to meet me, and which is a weird thing to say. And I'm standing in the corner, nervous until I go up on that stage. My point is, I haven't met many of these people. Actually, I'm getting to meet Future Kane, who's one of my best friends in the world, on Sunday. By the way, I do have to shout out Rachel Ann and Heliana. Rachel Ann and Heliana are two friends. Rachel Ann has an organization called the Menopause Education Center that I'm working with to raise menopause education. Heliana does work with hostile work environments and recovery, specifically, well, especially within the LGBTQIA plus community. When you get to a certain point, you have the ability to pick and choose who you surround yourself with. And everybody that I surround myself with is making a social impact. And that's the way I love it.
Oh man, I love it too, man. I love it too. And that's why, like I said in the comment section, they're so grateful to be in your circle. And I am grateful for having you guys join the show tonight. And shout out to you, Casey, saying that he is put right there, network equal net worth. I love it. And that takes us to the first of our fun questions before we dive into the nitty and gritty, Dan. And I want to ask you, if you were a superhero, right, who will that be and why?
Nelson Mandela. Do I need a why?
For the folks that don't know Nelson Mandela, let them know why. Let them know.
I mean, look, I know what you were going for with that question, but let's just be real. Nelson Mandela, with everything he did for peace, for revolutionizing South Africa, that's a true superhero to me. Heliana is a superhero. I'm not going to give credit to some dude in spandex fighting crime. I'm going to give credit to the people that are out there every day pushing the envelope to make change. And honestly, like I didn't know you were going to ask that. So it wasn't like I was planning that answer. Nelson Mandela is the first person that came to mind.
Right. And I love it. I mean, if you don't know who Nelson Mandela is, I will ask you, where have you been living for the past 20, 30, 40 plus years, right? You need to know. Google him. Hey, no more comment. Shout out to Nelson for everything he's done for, the African community, South Africa specifically, if you want to know. Fantastic. All right, let's go ahead and ask you this question. I know you mentioned a little bit, but we're talking about, leveraging LinkedIn specifically. So one thing I want to ask you is, why and how did you shared a little bit, but how did you end up specifically on LinkedIn as a platform to build your brand and connections? Why LinkedIn, and how did you end up here?
Well, first of all, thank you for the question. The truth of the matter was that at the beginning of the pandemic, right before my kids were born, I was in a job that was going through a lot of realignment, real stressed out. Then my kids are born. I leave to take a different job that I thought was going to be ideal, but I wound up going through postpartum depression and burnout. So, and I'm saying that to say that it wasn't their fault. I wasn't working the top of my capability. At that time, I was working in healthcare. Well, healthcare is a very small field. So I had exhausted my options, and I wound up going on Nextdoor of all places. And I was asking around for people that knew of jobs. And there was one person that spoke up that was a veteran, and he told me I needed to go on LinkedIn and brand myself. So the entire impetus was not necessarily to create what I've created. It was to brand myself so that employers knew what they were getting and who they were hiring. But the thing with me is I made a decision at that point in time because I was tired of the BS. So I said to myself, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it my way. And I went on video and I said, hi, my name's Dan. I'm ADHD. And from now on, what you see is what you're going to get. And that's how I wound up on LinkedIn. The reason I continued is because I found out very quickly that speaking up and being honest and open, it draws people to you because others are going through the same thing. So while it was never my intention to go where I am now, I got here without any false pretense. The same person that's talking to you now is the same person that started 5 years ago.
See, that's powerful, right? The reason why I say that's powerful is because with this new era of creators, because we're in the creator economy today, right? And so we have so many people that want to leverage, content creation, right? To grow their businesses, right? They want to leverage this. So many people want to do a podcast. So many people want to build their personal brand and corporate brand. They want to be seen. They want to be heard. But not everyone is successful at achieving that. And at the same time, I can tell you realistically that not everyone is able to stay true to themselves, right? Sometimes we end up seeing 2 or 3 or 4 versions of the same individual, right? Like we see a version online that they're presenting. At the same time, we see a different version of the individual behind closed doors. And so now we're like, okay, who exactly is this individual? What exactly are you doing? And at the same time, we're hearing about people that have achieved success like you saying, listen, I was honest, I was open, I was vulnerable to the people. I didn't go in, right? And this is where I'm going. In essence, what you said is you did not go in seeking fame. You went in being genuine in the things you were sharing and simply presenting yourself for potential employers. And what you didn't even think will happen. Will that be correct?
For the most part, yes. Now, there's 2 things that I would say. Everybody has a point in life where things change and the philosophies that we've had shift. I talk about this when talk about this a lot outside of it because it's very difficult for me. But my wife almost died during delivery, and wound up having a hemorrhage. They took her away for emergency surgery, but they didn't tell me anything. So for 3 hours, I'm standing there in the recovery room with my 2 daughters, and I didn't know if I was going to be a single father. It was that moment that I thought to myself, if I don't do everything in my capacity to create a better world for my kids, then I'm not doing right by my wife, and I'm definitely not doing right by my kids. So that moment triggered me in ways that I still am sort of surprised by, because there are times like 5 years ago, if something happened to me, like my layoff, I would have sulked, I would have been down and depressed. Now I go in the other room, I see my daughters. It's like, okay, well, what other angle can I utilize to get to this place? So when I came on, I wasn't looking for success. I wasn't looking for fame, but I was looking to create a niche. Now, that niche started by no time. There was nobody connecting job seekers to recruiters. So I created that post. I put job seekers in front of 5.7 million people in 2 years, but that didn't come without sacrifice. Every morning, every Tuesday morning, I was waking up at 5:30 in the morning. I would get my coffee. I would sit down, and 6 a.m. I would put out this post. And for the LinkedIn algorithm to pick it up, and I'm getting into this because I know it's part of what you really want to delve into. So for LinkedIn to carry it on, I had to respond to every single comment within 20 minutes. If I didn't, so what happens is when you put out a post, you're at the top of a hill. And as more and more people start commenting, you start this downward trajectory. and you start going faster and faster and faster, and you pick up steam. So the problem is with a lot of people, if they don't comment, if they don't respond, then people stop seeing it. And that is putting a roadblock in the acceleration. So now they start going slower, and that's when they really come to a halt. Well, I realize if I continue on doing this, by 2 p.m., my post has already been viewed 50,000 times. I've already gone 700 comments. If I let this go, now I'm at such a speed that it's going to continue on. So now the rest of the week until the next Tuesday when I went out again, it still generated another 40,000 views, another 500 comments. And what I was doing is I was taking every single person, I was putting them in a spreadsheet, and I was sending them out to recruiters. But at the same time, I was connecting with more and more recruiters and getting them to come in. And you said network is your net worth, or Casey said it. Well, when you start doing these things and you're building out your relationships and your network with coaches and resume writers and recruiters, now all of a sudden, instead of you being an isolated entity that's doing one thing yourself, you're building up an army that's coming in and helping people. And that's how I get to the 5.7 million people in 2 years. That's how I wind up developing a community of 12,000. Yeah, we're over 12,000 people. We were at one point the fastest growing, most active group on LinkedIn. That's how I wind up getting a 30 to 50% activity rate within my group, when the average for LinkedIn is 7 to 10%.
See, I love that you're diving into this, and thank you for actually going there, because that is exactly where I wanted the conversation to go, right? Because this podcast is for the people that are wondering if LinkedIn is a good platform to build their brand, to build their reach, their influence, to build, a strong presence in order effectively to make a return on a specific type of investment. However, the part that a lot of folks do not hear being discussed is the sacrifice, right? Is the hard work that you put in. The things that you're talking about didn't happen overnight. See, that's the part that I wanted to emphasize on, because you just mentioned that every morning at 6 a.m., you go ahead and put a post out, and then you're taking the time intentionally, right, within a specific time frame to respond to the comments, the feedbacks, or the activity, the engagement, I should say, right, on whatever you released. And you are connecting other professionals to what you posted. And correct me if I'm wrong, when you say connecting, you're talking about tagging somebody, right? Adding somebody to the post or mentioning somebody's name. And that helps more people being discovered. The notifications goes to different pages and sent to different people on LinkedIn. And here's the thing. Most of the time, people come on LinkedIn because of employment. And they send out a whole bunch of connection requests and vanish. They don't do anything. They don't take the time to invest into the community. That's where I'm trying to go here, because you did something different where you actually took the time to invest in LinkedIn. And that allows you to grow a certain way. Go ahead, add to it.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt you. So if you're impressed by that, I'm going to blow this up a little bit. So right around that same time, Clubhouse came out. And in Clubhouse, what you noticed is that there were large groups talking about LinkedIn. There were large groups talking about recruitment. And what I realized very early on is I don't want to be on Clubhouse long term. I want to be on LinkedIn. So how do I wind up accentuating and helping the learning curve? How do I accelerate faster? Well, what I do is now I go into all these different platforms. In social audio, you are expert like that. You could be on consistently for 2-3 days, get brought up to be a moderator expert, done. So now I'm bringing these people up, and I'm getting brought up. Now I'm making the connections back on LinkedIn, so I'm bringing that over. But now I'm also noticing that there's a lot of people doing things a very specific way. They're talking about themselves, but they're not really helping people. They're spending 45 minutes doing introductions and not spending enough or any time with the people that actually need the help. So what do? I go and create spaces. I create live events on LinkedIn. I create live events, live audio events on Clubhouse, where I say, okay, here's a group of people I actually trust that aren't going to blow smoke up your rear end. And we're going to actually give you advice. We're not going to introduce ourselves. You could see in our bio, this is where we're from. Here's the advice. Here's the practical application of it. Now you go and do it. And here's the other key. I hate how many people at that time were giving out referrals like water, because referrals don't mean anything. The reason people were giving out referral codes is because if somebody wound up hitting and getting that job, that person was taking home $2,500 for throwing out a referral code, but they may have had no actual interaction with the actual hiring manager. So for me, how do I make this more personal? How do I create a safe space where people aren't getting taken advantage of, where they're not going to Fiverr and spending $250 for a piece of garbage? I'm having to be careful because my Jersey mouth wants to come out, and I'm trying to be nice. So like with my group that I created, everything was based out of an equity, inclusion, resource community. And 12,000 people, I've approved all 12,000. Everybody that wants to offer services, I vet personally, because I understand the desperation that comes with being out of work, and I'm going to be damned if I'm another white guy that takes advantage of people.
Well, so thank you for thanks for that. This is what I want to do. Let's go ahead and take a quick ad break. When we come back, now I want us to jump into what type of content actually would you recommend on LinkedIn? What type of approach? Talking about the new stuff that LinkedIn has now, giving people badges, awards. You have one, top storytelling voice. There's so much I want us to talk about. And so let's go ahead and jump into a quick ad break. We'll be right back, family. Stay with me. Don't go anywhere.
It's like I'm so happy. I look so good, y'all. I'm crispy. All right, I'm crispy. I'm done. Listen, y'all. Oh my goodness. Life is a little dull sometimes, right? You can see my colors right now. My colors is a little dull. And sometimes you gotta bring a little bit more life to what you do. Look at me. My boy JP set me up with an amazing look. The process was incredible. Before he even sent it my way, he told me how my lighting should be. We got on a Zoom call. We went through all of the settings on the camera, made sure I'm white balanced properly, made sure my lighting was right. Even the foreground and background lighting, he made sure everything was crispy. He let me know what popped with my skin. He made me feel real good. Okay, he made me feel real good. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. He made me feel real good. And man, you guys can see going from 0, all right, to hero. Okay, like let me just dial it in just enough. He even gave me the number to dial it in on. Now, some of you may be asking, what in the heck is a LUT? Now, a LUT is all about getting that custom dial-in color grading that you need just for your custom look. It was important to me as I'm growing my YouTube channel, as I'm growing as a broadcaster, as I'm growing as a content creator. I wanted to make sure that all of my coloring was right and tuned in each and every single time I turn on the camera. Every single time I look into the camera and I'm doing a video, I want to make sure I look good. And if you are a content creator, you're going to want to have your own custom look. You don't want to just download one from the internet and you just put it in there and it looks kind of cool. You want to make sure you have something that's custom from you that no one else has, and my boy JP is the one who can make it happen for you. I'm so happy with my product. It's just incredible. Get it today. I'm overjoyed. It's just an amazing quality product, and I appreciate JP so much, man. You just don't know how amazing you are and how great this product is and this LUT. I'm so happy. I look so good, y'all. I'm crispy. All right, I'm crispy. I'm done. Yeah, just get with JP now. Just get with him now. That's it.
All right, family, welcome back. If you're just joining us, we've been here with our guest, Dan Roth, and we've been discussing how to build your influence and really brand on LinkedIn. That's what this conversation is all about, right? And so I want to go ahead and encourage the folks that are just joining us. Let us know where you're joining us from. And you just watch my man Jay Dunn share in regards to you having a LUT, a custom LUT. If you want yours, go ahead and visit the website jphightek.com/custom LUT. jphightek.com/custom LUT and use it. A lot of folks ask me, JP, how's the same camera like you? But my video doesn't look like yours. Well, what's your secret, sauce or secret weapon? Well, I want one of those things is my custom LUT, because your custom LUT takes into account your skin tone, your primary colors, secondary colors, and a whole bunch of other things, right? Yeah, you can buy a standard LUT online, but remember, when you're creating a LUT, there's those things that are into effect, and also understanding, is it for indoor, is it for outdoor, and a whole lot of things in regards to your color processing on your camera, all of that, white balance, and so many things into account, so you can get the true colors out of your camera. So again, jphightek.com/custom LUT. Now let's go ahead and bring our guest back onto the stage. Hey, Dan, thank you for all the gems you're dropping on us. Now, here's the thing, man. One thing I want us to go ahead and dive into is family. There's something I want you guys to take a look at if you're watching this show. If you're listening to it, come online on YouTube at JP Hightek to take a look at it. But if you were to go to Dan Roth's LinkedIn right now, you will see something. And so what you will see is right there. I can zoom in. All right. It says top storytelling voice, right? And so we've seen few other folks also receive similar rewards lately on LinkedIn, right? So the question that we want to ask you is, how do you get it? What did you do to get it? What do you think about it, right? And for the folks that are wondering, oh, how can I get it? What would you have to tell them? Share it a little bit.
First, when you were going through that commercial, I had to look on Urban Dictionary to figure out what crispy was. It said on fleek. Still don't know what it means. So if anybody in the comments wants to
Yo, Jay Dunn, he's not taking a shot at you, man. He's Dan. Don't worry about it.
I'm taking a shot. Like, I honestly don't know, which, I guess I'm more Caucasian than I thought it was.
Yo, shout out to my man. What's good? Words for Change podcast joining us here. We appreciate you being here, brother. Thank you. And he said he appreciates the conversation. So let us know, man, about this award that you received on LinkedIn, this top storytelling voice. How did this come about? What did you have to do to get it? And what do you tell the folks that are looking for similar awards on LinkedIn, or because it does help with some traffic, apparently based on what LinkedIn says?
It's stupid. I don't know. So first, I'm a top voice in 5 different areas. Y'all can't see it, but if I go to my profile and I click on top storytelling voice, it actually shows me that I'm a top voice in storytelling, leadership, interviewing, leadership development, and public speaking. Here's the thing. This isn't a real top voice. I'm just JP. I'm honest to the core. So this is just the reality of it. So about a year ago, LinkedIn started rolling out these collaborative articles. And what the collaborative articles are is AI started AI conversation starters. And they had beta testers that were picked out based on whatever variety of reasons that they are. And if you commented, then you would wind up, you had the opportunity to get a community badge. So basically what a community badge would mean is if you commented and you had a bunch of people that liked it and agreed with your opinion, the more they did that, the higher chance. They told me it also has to do with quality of what you're saying. I hope that's the case. I don't honestly know. the thing about it is it's I don't I'm not going to make anybody feel bad about striving to be a top voice like that. I did not go out of my way to become a top voice. I realized a long time ago when I started talking about mental health and diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging and anti-racism that I was not the face that they wanted to put as a top voice. So I didn't necessarily try. What I did do is when I saw these articles, I made a decision, which is on brand, on personality, that I was going to tell things the way it is. Because a lot of people go on there and make comments in order to get those likes. Well, guess what? If you say the sky is blue, then people are going to like it because the sky is blue. That doesn't mean you've given me any knowledge. So I go in there and I say, hey, this is the reality of the situation. And I'll combat anybody. I've combated head honchos at LinkedIn if I believed that they were just blowing smoke up people. And people respond to it. The one that made the biggest headlines, and I think you'll appreciate this, is that there was an AI generator article that talked about body language and how important it was. And my response to it was, y'all need to stop. There's 30% of Americans that identify as neurodiverse that can't control their tics. I have language processing disorder, which means I can't always get what I'm thinking about up here out through here. So I look up a lot to try to visualize my language. I'm twitching. I'm doing all these kinds of stuff. So if this is the case, then why are we talking about how great it is to smile enough? I was a recruiter at arguably the biggest company in the world. Do you know how often I cared if somebody smiled or not? What difference does it make? It doesn't tell me that they're qualified. I can't assume.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to make assumptions based on somebody's body language, but we live in a society that everybody likes to label. Everybody likes to pretend like it has to be one way or the other, because that's the way the 2% created it a long time ago. Well, in order to make change, you have to go against and realize that the fabric of society was not created on equality. So I go to bat and say, well, no, that's not the way it is. Here's the actual way. And that's not saying that I'm always right. If you ask my wife, I'm never right. But
tell me about it, right?
But in these situations, I'm going to be brutally honest, even if somebody doesn't like me for it, because I am very, very honest. But it's because we've all been around that person that told us what we wanted to hear, and then we followed that advice and it turned out very badly. I would rather be honest with somebody from a place of good, and if they get upset with me, then they get upset with me, but I know that I'm being productive for them and I'm looking out for their best interest. That's how I operate.
Love it. And in essence, just to add to what you said, this is also let's look at it like this. Every single platform is looking for ways to keep people on their platform, right? Every platform is looking for ways to have people invest more into their platform. And LinkedIn does have something called LinkedIn Learning, right? And so not long ago, they've really been pushing the LinkedIn creator mode to really have people turn that on and leverage their creative aspect, right? And encouraging people to push LinkedIn Live, which didn't used to be a thing before. And so they're really investing into the creative creator economy, I should say, right? And so this, for me, right, in essence, is part of that. And based on the information when I researched this, is that they're just rewarding you as an expert because you've taken the time to respond or share your expertise on a specific amount of topics,
discussion forums and things like that they've requested from you. Because I also received several of those emails, right? And I love this comment that Natasha Vincent,
Yeah,
and I'm
I was
about
gonna
to
mention
have you
that.
jump. Yeah, Natasha is saying, how timely, thanks for being here, Natasha. We appreciate you. She said, how timely, JP. Just got an invite for this yesterday evening and submitted it to an article on presentation skills. And so that is how they're really leveraging that, depending on how many times you've done that, right? And then you get a certain type of vote from the people that found
Yeah.
what you share, helpful, and then LinkedIn gives you that.
It's not
These
how
are the
many
same things you
times.
did, right?
Yeah. Yeah, this is what I was saying before, but it's not how many times that you respond, because if that was the case, I wouldn't be anywhere up there. First
Oh,
of all,
okay, okay.
Natasha, yeah, it's not the amount of times you respond. It's how many clicks you get on those responses and how high quality that they deem it. But you're going to start getting a lot more, Natasha. Once they identify you as doing this, then they're going to keep on doing it, because they're rolling out more and more. And the program manager in charge of this, her name is Leah Shin, and she's great. I really appreciate that. But I'll also say that I believe this is okay. Unpopular statement. I believe that this is free labor. They're asking you to take your time to respond and provide advice. Well, JP, you're a businessman.
Mm-hmm.
If Natasha or if Casey or if Haliana has an expertise, why are you spending the time putting it on this platform instead of getting paid? And the thing about it is, a lot of people, the counter argument is, well, I want to get my name out there. I want to become visible. There's way better ways to get visible than spending time. I'm trying to narrow the gender and racial wealth gap, y'all. Giving away free labor is not going to do that. Now, you talk about creator mode. You talk about how they're pushing. Well, here's why. There's going to be 1 billion people on LinkedIn by January. A year and a half ago, only 1.5%, let me repeat that, 1.5% created original content. Everybody was reposting, everybody was commenting, but nobody was creating organic content. They understood that there needed to be a change. But the thing with Microsoft is they throw darts and they see what sticks. There used to be the story mode. There used to be LinkedIn stories. There used to be video profile images. I still have mine because I never took it off. There's all of these different things that they used to do. And by the way, here's something they don't talk about. When you're doing live streams and you're using things like Ecamm, by the way, Ecamm is my preferred platform. Katie Fox, hello, we're my dear friends. LinkedIn is not providing these software companies the API to allow them to stream natively and get comments directly in. And I spoke to somebody at LinkedIn, I can't name them, respect and security, but they're a high-ranking individual at LinkedIn. They're like, well, I haven't heard anything about us developing something. But what I do know is that Microsoft is extremely stringent. So you have LinkedIn, who has their own laws, regulations, and now they're having to then go through the Microsoft team. So you're developing all these different layers. Now you have people hanging on 9 months. Well, if you really wanted to create this, if you really wanted to create an economy where people could stream, where people could benefit from doing all this, then you open the doors to allow the reputable software development companies that the Ecams of the world, the Descripts of the world, the CapCuts, all of these different companies, that you allow them to come in as third-party partners so that you can really accentuate it. Because had they done that, we'd be a lot further along than they are now.
Ooh. Yo, Dan went there, family. Dan went there, and that is why I love you, my brother. Because I told you in the chat, I'm gonna say it again publicly for the folks to hear. I love how genuine and real you are in your conversations. And this is real, because that's who I am. Listen, family, like you, Natasha, right? You received the invite. I received so many times. But here's the situation. To add to what Dan said, there are two types of people in the world. There are the followers, and you have the leaders, right? People that follow trends, follow everything, just follow whatever they think works to get that fame and name out there. And you have the leaders that take the time to analyze and see what's truly in this for what I do. Because your intellectual property is net worth, is money. That's what people pay you for. Now, of course, I don't have anything against sharing a little bit of knowledge and contributing on a great platform such as LinkedIn and being in the conversations. But there's a fine line between contributing and taking the time to really give a full-blown coaching time or sharing your intellectual property publicly without being, without making any money, plain said, right, out of it. And if you do that, you're going to find yourself really throwing money out the window, and that will not support your business, especially that talking about creator economy, like Dan just said, right? If you're a creator, then you understand that you have to spend a lot of money. You have to invest in a lot of different things in order to be even able to do some of the things that we do today. Talking about, you just mentioned having your own encoder. You have to pay for that, right? Talking about your camera, your equipment, you have to buy those things. Talking about having a place at home to broadcast, then you need to have that place, right? And then you make that happen. And you have to find a place for them to live and be consistent by doing that. It's effort, time, and investment. Go ahead. What were you shaking your head on, Dan?
Honestly, I have a $10,000 studio and I've paid less than 5% for it.
That doesn't mean everybody can do the same thing. So that's
no. I'm not saying everybody could do the same thing. But when we talk about being strategic, if you have a platform and you have a voice, a lot of people believe that there's this massive barrier of entry to doing a lot of things. Well, no, you just have to look or ask. For instance, I have a 12-month partnership with Elgato. They are a manufacturer of everything from the Stream Decks to Stream Deck Plus to the lights to the mic arm I'm using. And I knew that I needed to upgrade my equipment. I also knew that I had a platform. So I went onto their website. I looked to see what the partnerships were. I submitted, and 3 months later, I got asked to do a 12-month contract.
Now, hold up. Before you continue, there's something that I want to make very clear based on what you just said, right? I'm going to repeat what you said. You said that you reached out to them, right?
Yeah.
And then they decided to get into an agreement with you, right? And work with you. However, the part of the equation that, and this platform is to help any aspiring entrepreneur, right? Whether you're trying to get into it right now or you've been doing it for a while, and help everybody at different levels, which is why I wanted to pause here to share some light there. The part of that story that you probably haven't just, they probably missed is that whenever you approach a brand like that, the brand will look at what's in it for them. Like, you have to bring something on the table, right? Now, you've been a solid voice we just established on LinkedIn for a while. Now, at what point of your growth did you contact Elgato in order to get into that agreement with them?
I mean, I contacted them pretty far along, but here's the thing. There was one company that I partnered with that I got like 2,000 views on a post, and they were beyond the moon at that 2,000 reach. My average post does 10 to 15 or 20,000. My point in saying this is that you can't assume companies are looking for you to broadcast to hundreds of thousands of people.
No.
Yes, I contacted Elgato when I was further along, but there's other companies that I worked with earlier that I didn't when I think I had 6,000 followers the first time. The point of me saying this is if you're strategic, if you know what you're doing, if you know how to communicate, then you can do it at any point in time. And here's the thing, if you do it with a brand when you have 5,000 followers, how much more do you think that they're going to dish out when you're at 20,000, when you're at 40,000?
Yep.
This is, and here's the other thing. I don't do affiliate links because that's on an ad hoc basis. What I do is strategically, I'm a cash flow positive person. So I want that cash now, or I want a contract with the cash for the amount of time. Or you could do what I did with Elgato in saying, hey, I need to upgrade this stuff. I need to, the equipment is more important to me than the cash because the equipment's going to cost me anyway. Well, the equipment's not going to cost them as much because they're getting it at cost.
They manufacture that and they have that,
yeah,
a whole lot.
Exactly.
Yep.
So you'll be able to get a lot more from the product side than you would be the cash side. So how do you position this in order to benefit you? And this is the things that I talk to people about as I work with them as part of my consultancy business.
I hope you guys are listening to what Dan is saying. He's dropping gems. Take note, family. You heard what he said? Let me repeat it because we said our guests are the experts, right? They are the professors of the show. And he just dropped a heavy gem talking about sponsorship, family. A lot of times, new creators are looking for just traditional tangible money, like pay me $100, $200. But you're forgetting that the brand you're contacting, they manufacture products, right? Products that you may need, that you may even want to use in your productions, right? And so them giving you a product is still money. Exchanging value, not just traditional monetary things. I love that you're saying that, Dan.
I'll tell you, like Elgato is, so first I'm going to say I can't specify, what I'm going to be talking about, but I have to say I can't specify what this product is because of restrictions. Elgato is currently sending me something that's not on the market yet. Test. I'll be one of the first people on the market. I just placed an order and they're shipping me another Stream Deck. I have the sound panels all along here. I have the XLR. I ordered a dynamic microphone because I don't have a dynamic mic and I want to make sure that I have it in case people ask. I have a whole bunch of stuff, probably valued around $500 to $750 retail, that's being delivered to my house on Friday. That's the third shipment that I will have gotten in the last 4 months, but I use all of it. And the reason I chose Elgato was because I don't have to pretend that I like the product. I don't have to drink a horrible tasting energy drink and pretend I'm like,
yeah, of course.
Like I could say like I actually use this stuff. And also I could talk to people about how the different setups we could use. We talked about this before the air. This is my secondary mic that I use as my overhead mic that's connected to some joints that are part of the Elgato, which is connected to a profile mic arm. So these are three things that don't necessarily go together, but now I have 180 degree of the entire room. So it's not only about the product, it's about how do we use the product, how do we manipulate the product to make it work for us.
Whoo, there it is. Making it work for you. We all have different goals. We are different places in our journey. But how do you make the partnership work for you, right? Because remember, they are working with you, right? You are the solid common denominator there. You and hold those conversations. I love that. The last question before we close, I just looked up and realized time is up. Last question I have for you,
my
Dan.
kids are going to bed soon.
yeah, I know. Mine too, right? And so what I want to ask you, just to close this out, and shout out to you guys. I saw what you put there. Kimberly Gunn is all about thinking these things through 100%, right? So Dan, what would you say are the type of content that will work best on LinkedIn? Do you have any advice on that? Favorite type of content, or would you just say any type? It's just about how you word it.
So I want to start off by saying that what I do isn't necessarily the way everybody should do it. Uh, as an accomplice, as a co-conspirator, I look at the structure of things and try to fix them from the ground up by putting myself at risk. I take risks knowing that it could come back to bite me in the tail. So in saying that, that's the warning. What I would say when it comes to creating content is a lot of people overcomplicate content creation. The thing is, when we're talking to our friends, we're telling stories. When we're telling our kids about our day, we're telling stories.
Mm-hmm.
When we're looking on the news, we're telling stories. Everything around us has a reason for being, a how, a why, and a where. And everything around us, everything that we do is going to affect somebody out there and is going to connect with somebody out there. Most people would say to you, you need to stick to one part of your brand, one part of your content. That's the only way to be successful. And I call BS on it. If you have something that you're passionate about, don't overthink it, put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I promise you others are going to look for it. Now, if you want me to end on a practical advice note, here's my rule of thumb. Do one post that's consistent every week, same time, same type, whether that's text post, whether that's picture, whether that's other. This is stuff I tell my clients. The reason you want to do that is because you want people to come back knowing that they could expect something from you. Mm-hmm. And knowing what you're good at. A lot of people put things out assuming people know who they are. That's not the case. So you do that, you create that consistency, that sense of expectation. Then the rest of the week, however often you want to post, you do what you want to do. You talk from the heart, you do something ad hoc. You don't worry about the thing, about how many people you're going to get visibility by, because you're already getting that one post that's consistent. Everything else is now creating that dynamic and creating that structure. And I'll say the multiverse around what you are centered. The other practical piece of advice I will give you: don't create a stinking newsletter until you have thousands of followers. and here's why I say this. Newsletters are my favorite type of content to produce on LinkedIn. However, here's the thing. Newsletters, when you first put them out, will go out to every single one of your first connections. Then every time somebody follows you, they'll be asked if they want to subscribe to your newsletter. Now, why this is important is because it's the only form of content on LinkedIn where you're guaranteed to get a certain amount of people notified. If you start doing a newsletter from 500 and then you try to grow it, it's going to be a lot slower. It's a lot easier to grow your following. And then you get to a point where you're 5,000-6,000 followers in. Now you put out that newsletter. Now instead of going to 500, you're going to 7,000. Now it's also going out as organic content. Now this is how you build up. I started it when I had 8,000 followers. I currently have a 19,000 subscriber newsletter, and I could start building off of that. Now LinkedIn allows me to create 5 different types of newsletters plus 5 on my company page. So now I have all of these opportunities, and you don't have to create organic content every time.
Right.
If you want to create content, take the posts that you've done during the week for a month, you line them up as in your LinkedIn newsletter, and now you get additional visibility for every single one of those posts. Work smarter, not harder.
Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of the show. This was your humble servant, JP, and with Dan. Hey, Dan, we can't let you go without you telling the folks. I know, obviously, you're on LinkedIn. We said it. But what other places can they connect with you in case they want to, just follow you and get in your network?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to build out my YouTube channel. So if you want to connect with me on YouTube, you can. LinkedIn is primary. I'm on Instagram. If you want to shoot me an email, the big thing I'm doing right now is my business page. After losing my job at Amazon, I really had to look at what I do well and then monetize it. So now I actually am working with Fulgence Henry, with Anna Gill, with Juanita, with all these different people, and we're doing remote production, we're doing development, we're doing branding. The part that I'm really great with is strategy. That's the part I love the most. And we're working with companies and organizations that have a strong social purpose and helping them build up and build out so that they could reach the greatest audiences. And that's how I've been paying the bills, because God knows unemployment doesn't pay anything.
No, it does not. That's the sad part about it. Hey, Dan, it was fantastic having you on the show. Please don't go anywhere. Stay backstage as I go ahead and close with everybody here. Again, thank you for your time and your expertise tonight. All right, family, this brings us to the end of this episode. Next week, we'll be here, same time, same day, next Tuesday and Wednesday, right? So we have double for the blessing next week, which is going to be fantastic. And if you didn't know, this is something that we do every single week. I want to go ahead and encourage you, family, to show out, come follow us, subscribe, so you get notified every single time we go out. And I want to thank all the folks that joined us during the live show today. And let us know in the comment section what is the one thing that you really appreciated during our conversation today, and what you think, what's your review of this platform. It was your humble servant, JP. And again, family, you be safe. We'll see you next week. Like I always say, shalom. Peace.